What's up everybody, Zach here with Sew Yeah Quilting. Today I'm going to show you how to make this awesome chevron quilt. Let's get started. Alright, so for this project here, it's just two colors. You need 1 2/3 yards of each color. The one I'm going to be showing you in the tutorial today is a multicolor quilt, and for that one you need 2/3 yard of each of your colors, as well as 1 2/3 yards of your overall base color. Alright, so this quilt is super simple, and if you look at it, it's actually just a whole bunch of half square triangles that are sewn together with the same colored fabric matched up. So if you look like right here, this is one square, and then right here you got your second one that make this kind of trapezoid shape. So the way you arrange this is really going to determine the overall look of the quilt, which you'll see in the multicolor quilt that I'm going to be doing here in a second. Alright, so let's get started. As you can see here, I've got my white fabric, which I've cut down into a 10-inch square, and my blue fabric, which I've cut down to a 10-inch square. All I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these over the top of each other, just like that. A little off there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to draw a X from one corner of the fabric to the other and vice versa. I'll show you that right here. Just take my ruler, lay it out corner to corner. And I'm just going to real gently, so as not to make it like bunch up, I'm just going to mark down the center there, and down the center the other direction. There we go. I'm going to hit that first one again, just make it a little darker. If you can't see that on camera, it's because I can't see it in real life. So we're going to make that a little darker. There we go. Alright, so now I've got my block marked, I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam on both sides of each of these lines. Alright, so now that I've got this sewn together, I'm going to cut this into my half square triangles. Put this on the overhead so you can see it. So now, what you're going to do with this is you're going to cut down both of these lines, but then you're also going to cut down the center here and the center here. And that's going to give you 8 different half square triangles. What I'll do here is I'll just line this up on my mat so I can get a nice straight line here. Line up my ruler. That. Now the other direction. That. Now I'll go through and cut my square in half to make 2 triangles. Alright, so now I've got my half square triangles sewn together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and square these up before I iron them. To do that, I'm going to use the Clearly Perfect slotted trimmer. I'll show you this right here. All you got to do is take your triangle and line your seam up on your horizontal line here on the mat. Then I'm going to take my Clearly Perfect slotted trimmer. I'm going to place that over the top. I'm going to take this, make sure the center line is lined up with the center of my square. And I'll go ahead and cut the edges off. 1, 2, just like that. There we go. And then I'm going to come in here and cut the dog ears on the sides to just get that done all at the same time. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to take your triangle and you're going to line up the bottom edge of it with the line on the Clearly Perfect slotted trimmer. And then your seam will line up with the dotted line on the trimmer, and it's marked for whatever size of triangle you want to make. So I'll line this up just like that, and then your center line goes through the center of your triangle. Cut the edges off here. And then I'm going to go in here and just cut the dog ears onto it, just like that. Alright, so now I've got a perfectly squared half square triangle that I can now iron out and then move on to the next phase of my project. Alright, now I've got my pieces ironed out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pattern together. I'm just going to lay this one out here and then lay the blue edge to blue edge, fold them over just like that, and then sew along that edge. One thing to pay special attention to is the direction of your half square triangles. So as you can see here, if I take these two and put them together, I've got this trapezoid shape with the point on top going left. If I give these each a quarter turn, then the trapezoid is now going right. And that is really important to keep in mind because you need one of each to make the chevron, or in this case, this staggered chevron. Alright, so now that I've got my two pieces sewn together, I'm just going to go ahead and do this with all the rest of my half square triangles. Alright, so now that I've got all my pieces sewn together, for this version of the quilt I'm using 3 different colors, as you can see here. And for this part of it, it's going to be really important that you pay attention to the order you're piecing things together. So I'm going to go dark, light, and then medium. Let me sew all those together and then you can see where this is going. Okay, so I've got my dark and my light sewn together. Now I'm just going to take my medium color and add that onto the end right here. Alright, so now that I've got my dark, light, and medium all sewn together, I'm going to take this and do it again and then just sew those two pieces together. Alright, so now I've got my rows sewn together. For my next row, what I'm going to do, instead of sewing the colored portion together, I'm going to sew the white together. And what that is going to do is it's going to give you this offset or staggered chevron. So right here you can see we've got the colored sewn together and here the white sewn together. Alright, my quilt top is now finished and it's looking great. I'm going to take this over to our in-house long armor and get it quilted. If you like this pattern, there's a link to it in the description below. And if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. And please share these videos with your friends. Also, we have our Tuesday night Newstash and Saturday night Destash every Tuesday and Saturday evening. Please feel free to check those out. Until next time, I'm Zach, teaching you how to Sew Like a Pro. We'll see you next week on Sew Yeah Quilting.